What's up, people? We've got a Friday midday matchup for you guys today. It's gonna be a ZVT as it usually is, 'cause there's too many Zergs in this group, and no Protosses, only one Terran. It's gonna be the orange Zerg, Kevin Lee, up against the pink Terran, B-Breed. We've got on the classic skins, so look how silly these SCVs look. Look at this command center. And this hatchery. And the drones. This hatchery is really shiny. Opening's gonna be standard on both sides. B-Breed with the single gas, so not likely gonna be a BC opening. Kevin going for the hatch gas pool, and if I had to wager, I would say he's gonna keep on gas past that initial 100. Barrick's gonna be finishing up. Let's see what he produces. Is it gonna be a Marine or a Reaper? Marine is the choice. Not gonna be able to find any Overlords because Kevin has sent his Overlord here into the slow zone. So actually, if the Marine for some reason decides to go up here, could potentially pick that off. Maybe. Second Marine even on the way, and natural command center starting up. Kevin started his speed and continuing to mine that gas, so would have won that bet. Probably would be a better money making opportunity than the stock market currently. SCV coming in for a scout, gonna lose its life to these initial two Zerglings. Gets the information that Kevin's continuing to mine gas, but not really sure what to do with that information. So, don't think B-Breed's gonna be changing anything up. He's going for his triple CC. He's got a siege tank on the way, bit supply block there, just finishing that supply depot. And all we have lost, looks like these Marines must have picked off those two Zerglings. That guy has one, that guy has one. So two Zerglings down, one SCV down, pretty fair trade so far. 3.5 minutes in, still no third. He is sending that out now, going for the gold base. And that's a big power play there. That's going to allow Kevin to really power up and maybe go for like a mass Ling style. There's still no layer in sight, no additional tech, so maybe he just wants to flood in with Lings. B-Breed does tend to be a little slow on this wall, and Kevin might be able to slip in. Not going for that, however. Big missed opportunity there. Of course, he doesn't see what we see. There's a siege tank on the high ground, so it's probably going to be safe. Yeah, takes a shot there, and Kevin decides against it. He's going for the layer now. Still no Baneling nest or anything in sight. All gases coming down, so likely gonna be a quick spire, I believe. That is usually Kevin's MO. And yeah, creep spread, not really great right now. More drones on the way. A couple blind spores coming down. Not really sure what prompted that reaction. I guess, yeah, they're just gonna be safety, I guess. And not really the best thing to do, but if you don't know what's happening, better to be safe than sorry. Kevin does now morph an Overseer, so I think he could have just waited a few extra seconds for that to get the scout, and then he can confirm that those spores are not necessary. And we do see the Baneling Nest as well as the Spire, so gonna be a classic Lingbane Muta style. B-Breed is prepared with a bunch of Widow Mines scattered across the map. 2 here, 4 here, not burrowed. And that's a bit of an error that I do see quite often from B-Breed. He doesn't siege his tanks right away, doesn't burrow his Widow Mines. So that could come back to hurt him if Kevin decides to send Mutas through the north side. Single Marine feeling adventurous, or maybe just wants to join the Zerg army. Gonna run into a Queen, it looks like. But if he sacrifices himself for maybe one of these tumors, that's about as much as he can hope for. 10 Mutas on the way. We'll keep a close eye on those. Baneling Speed also on the way, about halfway done. And here are the 10 Mutas. Let's see if they can find any damage. B-Breed moving across the map with a force of Marines and Mines. That's all he has. No Medivacs just yet. And that's going to leave his base quite vulnerable to Mutalisks. But Kevin not sending those across. And here comes B-Breed. Burrowing those mines. Going to pick off 5 drones right off the bat. Gonna deny mining from this gold base, but here come the Mutas. They're gonna not intercept the reinforcements. They're just gonna go straight for the natural. There is a single missile turret here, but 10 Mutas can jump on that. Gold base of Kevin likely gonna be forfeit. These Mutas finding a lot of damage, gonna get a tank over here. At the same time, B-Breed is gonna pick off that gold base. Looks like he is. Oh, gotta get out of there, but this gold base still not down. Does get it. These Mutas continuing to wreak havoc in the main base of the Terran player. There's just not much here. And just bouncing around, gonna over to the natural, see if they can get any damage, but missile turret gonna deter him from that. You can still go for maybe some attachments here, that's always annoying. And this force of Widow Mines, maybe take those home to help with the defense. No drilling claws, so it takes those Widow Mines so long to burrow, not gonna be able to burrow underneath the Mutas. And yeah, B-Breed never likes to go for that upgrade. I think that's quite an error. Additional 2 Widow Mines do burrow, but do not get the good shots off. And Ling's gonna spill in. B-Breed never remade that wall. Bane's backing this up as well. And all of a sudden things are super bad for B-Breed. Banelings do kind of waste themselves onto the Marauders. However, 25 SCVs have gone down. 2 big Widow Mine shots there. Only 5 Mutas remaining. But is it too late? B-Breed set back to 18 workers. He does have triple CC, which is nice. Triple mules, triple SCV production, but 18 SCVs, that's pretty low compared to the 50 drones of Kevin. He is going up to a hive. He has a 3rd base here on the normal minerals. Still a lot of mines here that could be used defensively or offensively, whatever. They're not really doing much here, but Maybe they'll get the drone transfer later on. B-Breed trying to macro back up, was floating a ton of energy, so he drops a lot of mules. That's probably going to shoot him up in the economy count. Yeah, as we do see, he's finally taking a bit of a lead here for the first time in the past 7 or so minutes. Thanks to mules. Mules pretty good. B-Breed gonna wanna land this third sooner rather than later though. He needs to catch up in the economy. Kevin is floating a lot of money and he's gonna be going for a greater spire. So Broodlord's gonna be the goal here for Mr. Lee. Finally these Widow Mines venturing forward. Gonna get some shots there. And that's about all they're gonna do. The Overseers are present. Leaving 2 behind here to catch the potential drone transfer. That's a smart move. And not seeing any transfer. Typically you want to transfer 12 right away. But in this case that would probably hurt Kevin. So I don't know if he recognizes that or just kind of a accidental good move there. B-Breed moving forward, trying to catch a pre-Broodlord timing, and the army count's actually quite even, favoring the Terran actually, in fact, but Banelings, very scary. And in comes Kevin. Let's see the shots from the Widow Mines or the Banelings. And yeah, not gonna be enough from the Terran to clean up that Ling Bane army. He does pick up and save most of his bio there. So not the worst interaction there. Muta's kinda flying in, losing I think 1 or 2 there. And then Kevin thought about going for an attack with the Ling Bane as well. Pulls back. And does lose 7 drones there to that Widow Mine. Gonna lose a bunch more Zerglings to that second one. These guys have 14 and 13 kills. Are gonna go down now, however. B-Breed gonna go for another attack. He has landed that third. He has caught up nicely in workers, up to 44 now. And Kevin not really droning up too much in the past few minutes. B-Breed hitting a very pivotal timing here before the Broodlords are ready, but I think Kevin should be able to buy enough time for them. And then what answer does B-Breed have? Does get 1 cancel, that's nice, but 5 Broodlords do finish, and that is gonna be enough to push this back. B-Breed doesn't really have a good Broodlord counter. Marines do shoot up, sure, but it's gonna take them so long to get underneath the Broodlords, and all this time they're gonna be getting chewed up by Broodlings. B-Breed needs to go up to Vikings or Ghosts or something, but no such tech switch in sight. A small Marauder force over here, gonna harass this gold location. Getting that base pretty low, but not gonna be able to pick it off. B-Breed going for a drop into the main. 3 medevacs full of units, gonna unload on top of the Queen. Stims in, he could maybe go for the Hive. But the Ling Bane is gonna show up. Gonna have to pick up his units. Gotta watch out for the Mutas though. This 1 medevac super low is gonna go down. It was full of units. That is painful. But B-Breed, he has really caught up in the supply count. 50 workers now to the 55 drones. And B-Breed has a slight army lead in terms of supply, but the complexity definitely going to favor the Zerg player with his 5 Broodlords here. 12 additional Mutalisks on the way. How are the upgrades for both players? 2-2 for the Terran, and 0 on everything for the Zerg. So that's another thing to keep in mind. B-Breed with the two upgrades. Big Widowmine shot there. Takes out a lot of the Banelings there. Another Widowmine gonna clean up those Mutas. There's still this handful over here. What is that, 12 or so? I don't know how many here. But yeah, B-Breed actually looking pretty good right now. His 3-3 on the way. There's still no upgrades for Kevin, so that is pretty huge. And Banelings waddling, well, rolling in, not getting good shots. And it's just Mutas and Broodlords left. So B-Breed gonna stim in, gets 3 it looks like of the Broodlords. Might just barely not get that 4th one there. And B-Breed with his Marine Marauder just gonna stim forward. Only Lings and Broodlords here. Gonna take out all the Lings, set his sights on the Mutas perhaps. The Broodlings doing a great job at messing with the AI, all these bio units auto-targeting the Broodlings. So that is buying Kevin some valuable time, but the reinforcement's gonna show up, Widowmine's gonna show up, not really gonna do a whole lot, but the bio should be enough to punch through this. Broodlords doing their best, but they are falling slowly. Only 1 remaining. The Marauders cleaning up the mineral line here. And wow, excellent play here from B-Breed. It looked like he was down and out earlier, down to 18 SCVs, but he just non-stop with the SCV production, and his upgrade count is exceptional with 3-3 finishing up. These units so strong and beefy. And he is gonna carry this over to a victory. A single Viking here taking out that last Broodlord. And now it is Kevin who is set back to the Stone Age essentially. 26 workers, still no upgrades. That means these bio units have a 6 upgrade advantage. That's 3 in the attack, 3 in the armor. That is absolutely massive. They're gonna take basically no damage to Zerglings, and they're gonna deal insane amounts of damage. Like, look how long these units survive against these Zerglings. They do get cleaned up eventually, as Marauders can't shoot up, but there's just nothing left for the Zerg. Just a handful of Mutas, that's about it. This 3rd base gonna go down as well, if he focuses it. But yeah, I think we are seeing a Game 1 victory from the Terran player, and GG should be called any second now. No GG, a WP, and it's going to be B-Breed in game number 1. Game number 2 on Glittering Acids. It is, once again, a ZVT between the Orange Zerg Kevin Lee and the Red Terran taking that first game, B-Breed. It's really well done there from B-Breed in that last game, surviving the almost insurmountable advantage that Kevin had. And he just stuck to his macro, produced his SCVs, got his upgrades, and carried that forward to a pretty nice victory there. Kevin, his side of things, no upgrades, definitely hurt him. The Baneling control, not the best. He lost a lot to Widow Mines, crashed some into Marauders, and the Broodlords, I don't mind the decision to go up to Broodlords, but there was not enough supporting them. Once the Ling Bane got cleaned up, the Broodlords essentially naked, and that allowed Marines to kill them. And a Viking even showed up. So game number 2, this is a large map. Gonna be slightly Zerg favored. Gonna be, once again, same opening from Kevin. Similar opening from B-Breed, however he is getting a reactor pretty early. And should be going for that command center, there we go. Kevin once again keeping drones on the gas, and pretty par for the course for Kevin, but this is not optimal, depending on what your plans are. Typically you pull at least 2 off of that just to get a little extra mineral income. That's pretty important in the early game such as this. Now Kevin with 130 gas, what are you gonna spend that on? There's no tech in sight just yet, so kind of wasted currently. He's going for a second gas as well. We don't see a layer yet, we don't see Banelings, Roachwarren, anything like that, so income not as great as it could be. B-Breed does have his factory with the reactor. What? Not sure what that was all about. Looks like it was landing, and this is a weird wall, isn't it? It's got 2 barracks positioned like this. It's kind of interesting. Wondering why he decided to place it like that. We do see double Widowmine production now. And here we go. Finally we see some tech out of Kevin. He's going for the Roachwarren, going for 4 gases on a relatively low drone count of 42. Doesn't even have his minerals fully saturated, 14 out of 16. And no third yet. Looking like it's going to be 1-1 roaches. Does get those upgrades. This is a lot of gas, so we might even see Ravagers mixed in, but nope, going to be a Hydra Den. Roach Hydra, I guess. Going to be the composition from Kevin. And yeah, 4.5, almost 5 minutes into the game, still no third in sight. Lings slip in, but don't really see a whole lot. And this is not good. You should never be on even bases as the Terran. So gonna be favoring B-Breed's position right now. Roach Hydra also not the best unit composition against Terran. And 2 bases, again, it's just not enough mining, not enough production. I do see that 3rd base getting planted now, but super late. B-Breed looking like he wants to go for an attack now. And he's gonna hit most likely before this 1-1 finishes. I think he's gonna get there before... maybe before these Hydras even spawn, but surely before this Hydra range comes into effect. Kevin is gonna have the Glial Reconstitution Roach Speed upgrade. And also Burrow, which probably not really going to come into play. But here comes B-Breed. He has morphed his Hellions into Hellbats, which are pretty useless, to be quite honest, against these units. And again, no Drilling Claws, and that allows your opponent to pick off those Widow Mines before they can burrow. We'll see the bio units fighting the Roach Hydra. The 1-1 did finish. So, oh, nice little split there. Wow, Kevin with the micro. Nice awareness, pulling up that targeted Roach. And yeah, pretty good defense there from Kevin. It looks like he's going to be the one taking the reins in terms of the upgrade department in this game. Going for his 2-2. No upgrades yet for B-Breed, who just now starts his double engineering bay. And no third yet from the Terran player. So it looks like he is potentially all in. Let's see. He is continuing to rally his units across the map. Kevin starting to drone up that third a little bit. He does drop a scan in his own base for some reason. That's probably a mistake. And here we go. We've got a couple Widow Mines. They're slow burrow once again. But I think that's a little too much Roach Hydra. We do see the army favoring Kevin. And again, he has that 1-1 upgrade already. Cleans up those two Widow Mines, and he's going to push forward a little bit. Bow units should be able to get away as they are a bit faster, especially if they stim. Gonna lose a Marine there. Maybe a Marauder. Yeah, just to these little angles that forces the units to turn around. Kevin in hot pursuit right now, just chasing everything down. B-Breed gonna need to defend. Does he have enough over here? I'm not sure he does. And yeah, Kevin looks like he's just gonna roll through with everything. How did we get here? GG gets called and Kevin gonna take a pretty straightforward game number 2. Welcome back. This is game number 3. We are all tied up between the orange Zerg Kevin Lee and the pink Terran B-Breed. Kevin with a bit of an unorthodox style last game, going for Roach Hydra on 2 bases. But it worked out for him. And so that's just going to reinforce his incorrect play. You should absolutely not stay on 2 bases so long. Roach Hydra, again, not the best unit composition against Terran. 4 gases, a little extreme. But it worked out once again. His upgrades were good. And yeah, B-Breed's composition, not ideal either against Roach Hydra. Widow Mines get outranged by Hydras. They don't kill roaches in one shot. And not having the quick burrow meant that he lost a couple for free before they could even burrow into the ground. And so game number 3, we are tied up. Let's see who's gonna take the lead. You got this cute little doggy over here. Can't select him, but if you click him a bunch of times he will explode. I don't think I can do that as an observer. It has to be one of the players. And what is this? What is this little broken edge here? This time we've got B-Breed with the double gas. Same stuff out of Kevin as always, continuing to mine that gas. We've got an SCV just returning home. Marine is Overlord hunting, but oh, might get this one. That's nice. This Overlord, where's it gonna go? You can go over here. Ling's inbound to save this Overlord. And yeah, that's gonna be a dead Marine. Second Marine thinking about avenging his buddy, but no, it looks like no, he's just gonna stay there. We're gonna see a blue flame opening here from B-Breed. This could be very powerful. You just start that blue flame upgrade, get some Hellions out, maybe like 5 or 6 by the time that blue flame finishes, and just move across, roast up the Lings, Banes, drones, queens, whatever. There are no Banes or roaches yet. Kevin, a lot of minerals in the bank. What is he using that for? Gonna be a quick layer and Roach Warren on the way. That is the best defense against Blue Flame, most likely. However, it is gonna be quite a ways away. Can B-Breed hit before that? He is getting 2 more Hellions. The Blue Flame did finish up and getting a Cyclone as well. Going for that battle mech style, potentially. Hellion Cyclone. Highly mobile, very annoying style to go for. And probably want to hit soon with that Blue Flame. But B-Breed kind of just waiting for something right now. Looks like he is going to go now. Roach Warren is done, so Kevin does have the opportunity to make those. He does roast a couple Lings, which gives him the heads up. 8 roaches in production. Are they going to spawn in time? Roaches excellent against Hellions, but not that great against Cyclones. Only 1 Cyclone, however, so I think Kevin should be okay here. These drones, oh, not getting the target fire, so only 2 drones going down. And gonna be a hold from Kevin. Looked like it was a little dicey at first, but the roaches do spawn in time. The drones do evacuate into the main base. And gets an Overlord in the middle of the map. That's something. And B-Breed continuing to pump out Hellions, starting tanks as well. So it's going to be a Hellion tank composition? That works, I guess. Kevin going for the super late third once again. 6 minutes and 10 seconds in. But B-Breed, his worker production hasn't really been as stellar as it usually is. Only at 30 currently. But he is ramping that up now. 2 tanks on the defense should be quite enough to defend any attacks, at least anytime soon. And we're gonna see a starport with a tech lab. So B-Breed going up to Banshees. And it looks like he's just gonna move out now with a handful of Hellions, a few Marines, and 3 tanks. This is kind of scary just because of the tanks. I don't think the Hellions are really too good at much. Yeah, they are gonna run into the roaches. Doesn't really want to fight them. And oh, taking a fight here with his unsieged tanks. Not sure why you do this. And oh no, why? I don't understand that at all. Why do you not siege your tanks? And yeah, B-Breed, that was bad. And that's just going to allow Kevin to press forward with the counterattack, and all of a sudden there's nothing left from the Terran. 1 Banshee, but that gets picked off by the Hydras. GG gets called, and Kevin taking game number 3. Alright, this is game number 4. We are looking at the main base of our orange Zerg player who is up 2-1. It's Kevin Lee. And his red Terran opponent in the top left is B-Breed. Absolutely abysmal engagement in the last game. Did not have his tanks sieged, just got caught, and yeah, just snowballed from there. So that's gonna put us at 2-1. Kevin Lee gonna once again go for the hatchery first. Probably not gonna see any variation there. B-Breed with also relatively normal opening, it looks like. Kind of curious. We haven't seen B-Breed go for any proxies as of late. Don't think we've seen it in the past few series of his that we've seen. And it is good to sometimes switch things up with like a cheese of some sort. Keep your opponent on their toes. Don't let them get too comfortable. But generally, against this guy, Kevin Lee, he just makes his opponents feel uncomfortable with his kind of rushy reputation. We do see that his opponents, usually B-Breed, kind of falls into the trap of like, oh, I need to defend against my Ling Rush. I need to get my Muta defense up, and kind of prevents them from playing the game they want to play. They end up playing Kevin's game, playing right into his hands. Now this is a shorter map. Not as many bases, rush distance is shorter, so typically going to be slightly Terran favored. B-Breed going for the Tech Lab on the factory. So yeah, again, I don't know if this is what he wanted to do, or does he just feel the need to get an early tank. Let's see if that is indeed what he goes for, but yep, it's going to be a tank. And Kevin not going for any type of rush, at least not yet, just droning up, continuing to mine gas, going for a double gas even. And there we see that quick layer once again. So yeah, is it going to be Roach Hydra yet again? Going up to 3 and 4 gases as well. This is such a weird style. 4 gases, only 2 bases. Pretty low drone count at 35. And B-Breed looks like only the singular tank. Then he does swap over the attachments so he can get double mine production. And the Tech Lab on the barracks, probably just going to be for stim, combat shields. Yep, there we go. 2 more barracks to complete, or rather start the wall on the low ground. And again, we see that double Evo, Roach Warren from Kevin. This is going to start that 1-1 right away. And Hydralisk then again. So Kevin favoring this Roach Hydra composition on 2 bases, going for a fast infestation pit as well. That's weird. And yeah, I don't really know what we're seeing. I think everything I've learned about StarCraft tells me this is bad. But he's won the last 2 games, so it works. Maybe it's one of those things that is just so crazy that it works. B-Breed has gotten that 3cc, so he should be better economically. Kevin dropping that Changeling in plain sight of B-Breed. Doesn't lose it right away. Good awareness from our turn player to deny that full scout. And what does Kevin see? Not a whole lot, actually. So he doesn't really know what B-Breed is doing. We can see that it is going to be a bio mine composition, it looks like. Lots of mines already on the field, 6 of them it looks like. And we do see that double engineering bay now. Looks like 6 going to be all he wants for now in terms of Widow Mine count. Kevin finally dropping down that 3rd. He is getting that Roach Hydra composition. But both players even on drones, on workers rather. And Kevin just starting up 2 more buildings. That's going to be a double Nidus. So he's going to be behind in the workers. Still not sure what this infestation pit is for. Seems like a heavy investment to not do anything with. But double Nidus, that is kind of crazy. on 2 bases. You don't really have the money to support that. But they do finish. Are we going to see them load up? And more importantly, where's it going to go? There might be an opening here, but BB should be able to see that. Another Overlord here can float in to maybe provide vision in the back of the natural. But there are no blind spots in the Terran base. So if he is paying attention, he should be able to deny those Niduses. And Kevin not utilizing them just yet. So yeah, that's another criticism I can provide. Getting these buildings that just aren't being utilized. This infestation pit, we don't see any infestors, any swarm hosts, any hive. So this building was useless. These 2 Niduses not being loaded up, they're not trying to get up their Nidus networks anywhere, so these 2 buildings also quite useless right now. Lurker Den on the way, so we're gonna see him most likely tech up to that unit that B-Breed has so much trouble with. And Kevin is now going up to 4 bases, but his drone count still quite poor at 53. The Terran has more SCVs than him. And B-Breed going for an attack here. Lots of Marines, some Marauders, some Widow Mines, and 2 siege tanks. He's going to drop a scan and then venture onto creep. So once again, Kevin has vision of this. B-Breed does this all the time. He just chills on creep. He's going to get this 4th. Kevin doesn't want to engage just yet. He's going to drop double Nidus on opposite sides of the Terran base. That could be good, but he does have to deal with this. And let's see, what is B-Breed looking at now that he hears those screeches? He doesn't see anything, so it looks like he's just going to ignore it for now. What is Kevin doing? He has a couple swarm hosts loaded in there. That's a cute little move. So that is what the infestation pit is for. But it was very late before he got those. Let's fly these locusts into the main, but Widow Mine shot not going to be enough to kill them, so SCV is going to be going down. Now the bio tank army gets a little too close, loses one of those tanks. Needs to bring these forward to support. Lurkers on the map now, just one actually. So B-Breed gonna avoid that lurker, go for this 3rd base. Gonna get 7 drones it looks like, but gonna lose all his Marines and Marauders to the Roach Hydra here. Picks up 3 Marines. That's gonna be it. Another swarm host wave of locusts going into the natural. 20 SCVs going down. That is pretty rough. And now B-Breed bringing his tanks forward, but there's no more bio remaining, so Roach Hydra is just going to be able to clean that up lickety split. Yeah. Again, not the best army control. Definitely should move your tanks a little bit closer, and don't stick around on creep because that gives your opponent full vision. Just don't do that. Now BB trying to clean up this Nidus, but the Locust Wave does come out. That is good to at least defend the main. Prevents those Locusts from getting up into the main. But should probably think about dropping off and taking that out, no? Not gonna go for that. So gonna allow his opponent to send more Locust Waves, it looks like. Waiting for the cooldown here on the natural. And Kevin with the substantial lead now in supply, 165. B-Breed does clean up this northern Nidus, but the southern one gonna deploy its Locust once again, gonna clear up 7, 8, 9 SCVs. Goes for the command center. No lift off there. Locusts do so much damage. And things have gone from bad to worse for the Terran player, who has been knocked back down to 2 bases. Is floating up this backup orbital to reclaim the natural, but the supply count's not looking good for the Terran right now. And Kevin with his Roach Hydra Lurker, now he has 9 Lurkers. That's a much scarier number. I don't think B-Breed can realistically attack into this. Let's see. He decides to go for it anyways. Let's siege up a tank. It is backed up by 2 Liberators currently. Another tank in the back. It's a pretty nice position, but I do think it's going to be difficult for him to progress forward against all these Lurkers. Kevin unburrows. Maybe thinking of a decisive move. Maybe waiting for that scan to die off, and drops another one. Does B-Breed. And he sees that all the Lurkers are unburrowed, so maybe this is an opportunity here. And Kevin does back up a little bit, giving a little bit of ground to his Terran opponent, so he could potentially inch forward. We do have 2-2 from both players, 3-3 about to be finished. Does get finished for the Zerg. About 10 seconds away for the Terran, so it looks like that advantage not going to come into play here. With B-Breed once again waiting a little too long and sitting here on creep, so his opponent has full knowledge of what's happening. He sees this tank moving up, and that's going to trigger the pounce. Comes in, burrows the Lurkers. Going to get both the tanks right away, and the rest of his units here can't really hang with Lurkers, so he's gonna back up a little bit, engage away from the Lurkers. That's a wise move. But he still has no answer to the Lurkers aside from this one Liberator. Siege is up, but Kevin just unburrows and backs up. He does have both upgrades for the Lurkers there, so they are at full power. They do have 3-3. But B-Breed, he is starting to catch back up. His worker count, while not great, it is on par with the Zerg player, who's only on 47. Kevin never been one to really get up to the insane like 80-90 drone count. That could come back to hurt him. Scan there, sees the army movement of Kevin, and that's gonna prompt B-Breed to move forward. The tank, once again, slow to siege. Gonna get picked off, firing only, I think, 1 time. This is such a tough composition to deal with for Terran. He doesn't have any ghosts or anything like that on the way. Looks like Liberator's just gonna be the counter of choice here. Of course, Hydras do pick those off. So B-Breed gonna have to be very careful, meticulous with his engagements from this point on. And he's gotta be careful with just hanging your army around in the middle of the map with your tanks unsieged like this. Does siege up one over here. Second tank, where are you gonna go? Venturing on to creep again. Kevin, well, he doesn't have vision of the high ground, but he still has that speed advantage on creep. Kevin going for a big counterattack here, and I don't think B-Breed should fall back. I think he just go for the counterattack, try to make things dirty, go for a base trade perhaps. But Kevin doesn't want to base trade a Terran, so he's going to pull back. And this gives B-Breed an opportunity to take a good position, but not really. He's instead going to wedge himself into the natural base. Takes out that natural, which is nice, but he's going to have a hard time getting out of here. I don't think these medevacs going to be able to lift everything up. So instead, he's just going to sacrifice everything? And I don't know if that was the right choice there. I do see the supply count plummeting for B-Breed down to 97 now. Kevin still at 160, 170. So despite the worker counts, Kevin is doing just fine. Now, if this game goes on for another maybe 10 minutes, then I think B-Breed can get himself back into it with his worker lead. But he's gonna have a tough time if Kevin decides to attack anytime soon. It looks like that is what he's doing. B-Breed thinking of moving out as well, gonna get caught. All his tanks unsieged, 2 of them going down immediately. And that is bad news. He's gonna siege them, but they are very forward. So gonna lose that one there. Kevin's gonna siege up right in B-Breed's face, cleaning up the rest of the tanks. And that is gonna be it for game number 4. Alright, we are changing things up now. It's gonna be an off-race clown fiesta. This is the Terran player, Kevin Lee, up against the Teal Protoss, B-Breed. So B-Breed has had enough of TVZ, deciding to switch to Protoss because Protoss OP. And Kevin gonna be playing Terran in this game. This is gonna be Pride of Valtaris. Big map. I don't think it necessarily favors either player really. And again, this is off race. Neither player really knows what they're doing. We have seen B-Breed go for proxy Stargates in the past. That is a few months ago, so I don't know if he still does that. We shall have to see. And it's going to be a gateway first, a single gas. Kevin with a barracks and a single gas. Probe scout from B-Breed. Not going to be able to get in, but oh, as I say that, he does slip in here, but now he's trapped. Kevin pulling 3 SCVs here. That's wasted mining time. And B-Breed just gonna wander around this base, it looks like. Can't get out, so just make circles. Kevin going for the Reaper now with a Tech Lab, and I've seen him do this a few times. I don't know if Kevin just doesn't know that Reaper does not require Tech Lab, or like why go for the Tech Lab here? I don't understand this at all. The Reaper is so delayed now, and despite the supply block, the Stalker should be out in time. The Reaper's going to take some time to get across the map, but with the Chrono Boost, I think he should be fine. And B-Breed does this a lot, even when playing Terran. He builds his buildings and then his workers just kind of hang out. It does tell him to go back to work. I don't know how long they were idle there. Now, Reaper gonna find 1 probe at the natural. Not sure what that guy was doing, as this base isn't even up yet, so gonna lose 1 probe, and that's kind of all you can hope for as a Terran player. He has 2 kills, but I think that the other one was the probe in the main here. And Kevin going for his expansion now, getting a siege tank, getting a starport. What is this going to be for? I know Kevin likes his air units, but he doesn't really have too much gas right now. So starport just going to be idle for the time being. B-Breed going for the robo facility, getting the observer. That's going to be very useful to get the scouts. And just chrono boosting his workers. Doing a pretty good job on the probe count. And still nothing from the starport. Does start a Tech Lab here, so it is most likely going to be Banshees, I'm assuming, because we don't see a fusion core. And he's continuing siege tank production. That's gonna make him pretty safe against anything B-Breed can throw his way anytime soon. We do have the first observer moving across. Second observer just gonna hang out at the main for now. And B-Breed gonna be seeing the saturation, the lack of wall, the tanks, and the marauders. And the Liberator, of all things. Liberator, another unit that does not require a Tech Lab, so I'm scratching my head at this. Maybe it's mind games, because now look at this. B-Breed sees the starport with Tech Lab, so he might be thinking, uh-oh, Banshees. But no, we're not seeing Banshees. It's a Liberator. Now where's this Liberator gonna go? Looks like it's making its way over here to the back of the natural. And B-Breed going for the Robo Bay as well. Not really been producing a whole lot of stuff. He's got 3, 4, 5 stalkers scattered around his map. Liberator does show up, gonna siege up this mineral line, gonna pick off a few probes here. That's nice. But the stalker, don't want to venture into the liberation zone. Yep, go around. That's gonna force the unsiege. But 6 probes, that's not too bad. Taking a very poor path there. So it is going to go down. But 6 probes, not too shabby. And that's really the only interaction we have seen so far. We've got a probe over here being cheeky. Let's see if that throws down a proxy pylon or something. Or maybe not. Maybe that was just a misclick. I don't know. But we do have a third from B-Breed. He is keeping up with his probe production, and he's gone up to a Stargate, double Stargate rather. And he is getting air upgrades. So looks like we are going to see an air transition. Hard to call it a transition because he hasn't really committed that much to ground either. There's only 10 stalkers. He's gone for a robo facility and a robo bay, but no immortals or colossus or disruptors. So questionable there as well. We do see the fleet beacon on the way, so I think B-Breed just gonna probably skip Void Rays, skip Phoenixes, go straight up to carriers. And Kevin with a Marauder tank army. Now, Marauder tank, possibly the worst counter to air units. In fact, yeah, I think it's honestly the worst army to get against air units. However, we don't have those air units out just yet. Only one carrier in production, and this attack is underway. So, Observer's gonna spot it. B-Breed gonna need to defend this, and Marauder tank is pretty good against just pure Stalker. B-Breed gonna get one tank, but gonna have to back up. And I think he needs to just buy time. Do not venture out. Stay in the safety of your batteries. Gonna lose a few more stalkers here. And yeah, just buy time. That's really the name of the game for B-Breed right now, because once a single carrier comes out, this army has to make a choice to stick around and die or try to get home. Now Kevin stims all his Marauders. That's quite a lot of damage onto the Marauders, but the Medivacs should heal them up no problem. And the carrier has arrived. Look at this skin, looks like a blimp. And just send that in. Send that in, B-Breed. You're gonna let your buildings go down, gonna deny ground armor. Not the most important upgrade if you're going for a heavy Sky Toss army, but still. And B-Breed not sending his carrier in. I mean, you see the army of your opponent. You know that he can't hit up, so currently wasting a lot of stalkers right now when the carrier could do everything. But he is going to clean this up eventually. And just go in with your carriers. What are you doing? And he's allowing his opponent to get away. Oh no, this tank taking the wrong street. Gonna get picked off for free there. And B-Breed feeling like he can move out now. Might be able to get a few of these Medivacs. That's nice. B-Breed now with an opportunity to perhaps go for a counter-attack. Kevin's anti-air virtually non-existent. He's still going for Marauder tank. He's got a few Widow Mines, and that's about it for his anti-air. So big opportunity here for B-Breed. And he's coming in. And all he needs to do is send these carriers in. A few Marines, that's not enough to really be any sorts of intimidating. And B-Breed with a huge opportunity to potentially just seal the game right now. Gonna at least find a third. And there's no way this is surviving. And even if he just goes home right now, this is excellent for B-Breed, who is up to 4 bases right now. 69. Nice. Workers. And Kevin gonna go for a bit of a mine drop. That's a cool move. B-Breed, still think he could have just ended it right there. But now Kevin with a lot of Marines. They don't have any of their upgrades. No combat shields. And no attack or armor upgrades either. So that's kind of bad. But that's still a respectable number of Marines. Now here comes the mine drop. Gonna get 7 probes. 9 probes. Last Widow Mine not gonna burrow. Once again, no burrow speed on those. But B-Breed just continuing the carrier production, and at this point 5 carriers. It's approaching a insurmountable amount. 3 more Stargates went down. There we are. 3 more Stargates. I don't know if he has the economy for 5 Stargate carriers, but 4 bases, if he saturates these gases, maybe. Now we see a small fleet of Vikings here. 8 of them. That's not really going to be enough, especially with the Stalker support. So you got to be careful. And why are they landing over there? A bit of a mistake. They're going to try to land in the natural here. Got a few probes. Landed Vikings actually really good against probes. But now they have to lift up and gonna lose 5, 6 of them. LMAO Protoss, so stupid. I mean, you can't really blame the Protoss here when you went for that kind of move. But yeah, that is the truth. All you gotta do is mass carriers and attack move. That's it. No point in finishing this. GG. Kevin gonna tap out. And B-Breed gonna take game 1 of the off-race Clown Fiesta. Alright, so this is game number 2 in the off-race Clown Fiesta. We are switching things up once again. It's going to be the orange Protoss, Kevin Lee, and the green Zerg, B-Breed. Definitely favoring Kevin in this matchup because he has played Protoss a few times. B-Breed, he's also played Zerg a few times, but certainly not as much as Kevin has played Protoss. And we can see right off the bat, no Overlord movement. Going for a gas pool, which is not that out of the ordinary, but still, you typically go for hatchery first. Now Kevin going for a forge first, maybe thinking of a cannon rush, but not sending that probe over. So probably not going to be a cannon rush. Maybe just wanting to secure the front of his base here with a cannon. And B-Breed, still no plans for an expansion, it looks like. He is sending those overlords out, at least. We have a double gateway, and I think this is a full wall. So Kevin fully walling himself behind here. That implies he wants to go up to air, because if he went for ground, he would have to break down one of these buildings to get out. So most likely gonna be going for air, especially given his comments in the last game. Protoss so stupid, just mass carriers. Let's see if that's what he is gonna go for. Gateways are done, but no Cyber Core just yet, no Nexus either. B-Breed going for 6 Lings, which are gonna be pretty useless against this Wolof. With the turrets, a bit of a fortress going on over here. Finally, the Cyber Core going down in the main. And yeah, Lings now. That's 10 of them, I think. Making their way across. Another 2 and 8 on the way, and they're gonna run into this double cannon wall, and it's gonna shut down this aggression real quick. B-Breed has committed a lot to this. He is down to 16 workers right now. Just looking for a way to get in, but there is no opening there. So these Lings pretty much useless right now. Cyber Core does finish, and there we do see the single Stargate with a cannon over here. This poor probe is trapped. It's not too late to cancel the cannon to get him out of there. I think it would be worth it because the probe will mine a lot of money in its lifetime. Kevin just gonna leave it there, however, as a punishment for being so stupid to get yourself trapped. B-Breed is commencing the drone production once again. He is going for a layer and third base. And whoa, Overlord Scout. I didn't know B-Breed knows how to do this, but he is gonna identify the Stargate from Kevin. Actually, no, he turns away. Oh no! Oh no, that's huge! So he's not gonna see the Stargate. And that is quite unfortunate. But most likely, this Void Ray is gonna just clean up the Overlord right away. So that will tip him off then. And yeah, Void Ray comes out and gonna kill the Overlord. So what is gonna be the follow-up from B-Breed? As the lair is finished up, he is mining gas with 1 drone. And he's going up to 4 bases. It's kind of nuts, but I kind of like it. And no real layer tech, so I'm not sure why the layer was gotten. But we have a Void Ray and a Phoenix on the way. Gonna clean up some Overlords. Another one going down there. And Queens should be enough to push this back. I'd like to see a little bit of creep spread from B-Breed. This base might go down. I think the Queens can perhaps get there in time. But again, creep spread would have helped us a lot. Yeah, the Queens do get there, push that back. So pretty nice defense, kind of unintentionally from B-Breed. He's getting additional Queens, which is absolutely the right call, but still needs to think of something. Like, all you have is Lings right now. You got a layer, and it's going to be Hydras. Okay. That's not a bad choice, but oh, it got canceled because it got stuck momentarily there. And hopefully he recognizes that and restarts that. But Hydras, yeah, generally not the best unit to go for, but they are okay against Void Rays. And we don't see Kevin continuing with the Stargate tech, so Hydras might be good here. Kevin now switching things up back to ground, it looks like, getting a Dark Shrine. He has his Robo facility, he's starting that Warp Gate research. Floating a lot of money is our Protoss player at 44 probes, 2k minerals, 1k gas. Kind of funny that Kevin, his work account is better as Protoss than it is as Zerg. And B-Breed, despite his 4 bases, not really getting up to a great number, only 37 right now. Also floating a lot of money himself as well. The Hydralisk Den is done, but quite supply blocked right now, so he starts up 6 Overlords. And going to be getting that Hydra range. But Kevin shifting gears, so let's see if the DTs do anything. We've got a Warp Prism making its way around. Some DT warp-ins could be pretty big, as there's not a whole lot from B-Breed. Does have queens and lings, but he's gonna need to react in time for this. Only 2 DTs warping in. I guess that's all the production. No, he has 4 gateways, so alright, 2 more. 4 DTs in total. They are gonna, I think, go for the Spore Crawler first, no? But they're gonna get a queen. Gonna get both of those queens. Does lose one of the DTs kind of sloppily. And now going for the Spore Crawler. Does pick that off before the Zerg reinforcements are able to clean up the DTs. So that's pretty bad for the Zerg. And he's gonna need to morph in Overseers. Not doing so. I don't know if he knows how to do it. Maybe he doesn't have enough gas. He's only at 6 gas. Oh, he does have 1 Overseer on the way. Alright. But the layer has gone down. Lurker Den gonna go down. Now these DTs eventually gonna go down thanks to the Overseer, but actually hold that thought. There are so many DTs. There's actually not enough army from the Zerg to clean this up. And the Overseer not in the right position. Protoss so stupid. And yeah, we are going to see a Protoss victory here. I forgot to update the scoreboard, but B-Breed took that game 1. Looks like Kevin's going to take game 2 off the back of these Dark Templars. And yeah, there's just too many DTs. And Kevin gonna run away with game number 2. We're just watching the slow death of B-Breed. LOL, GG. Kevin ties it up.